Most electricity in this country is generated by burning fossil fuels, either coal or oil. At the United Nations Climate Change Conference in Copenhagen, negotiators are looking for a way for countries to reduce their carbon footprints. But as Kitty Pilgrim now reports, one clean energy production source is rarely even mentioned in this country.
The United States is falling behind the rest of the world in what some see as the cleanest energy option available, nuclear power. 104 nuclear power reactors provide 20% of electricity in the United States. In Vermont, nearly 81% of electric energy is generated by nuclear power plants. Connecticut, 49%. South Carolina, 51%. New Jersey, 51%. New Hampshire, 46%. And New York, 29%. But other countries far outpace the U.S. in terms of building new nuclear power plants. China has 19 under construction, India 6, Russia 9, South Korea 6, and Japan, an aggressive builder, now has 53 power plants providing one-third of the nation's electricity. Just a few weeks ago, Energy Secretary Stephen Chu, addressing an American Nuclear Society meeting, put his support behind nuclear energy.
So let me say clearly, President Obama and I are committed to restarting the nuclear industry in the United States.
U.S. nuclear power went through a big buildup in the 60s, 70s, and 80s and left a legacy of unpaid bonds and incidents such as 3 Mile Island that turned many against the nuclear option. Former Vice President Al Gore says cost was the main problem.
What really led to the stop, almost a stop in nuclear power, was the cost. It's been going up 15% a year for 30 years. A $400 million reactor is now a $4 billion reactor.
The Conservative Heritage Foundation, which supports nuclear power, says it simply costs the government too much money to support nuclear energy.
What unfortunately I see happening with Secretary of Energy Chu is he's creating those same sorts of institutions, creating the same dependencies between industry and government that may give us a handful of reactors in the near term, but won't yield the cost-effective long-term economic viability that nuclear energy really needs.
Natural Resources Defense Council, an environmental industry group, says other power is cheaper and in the long run, better for emissions control.
In the 10 years it takes to build a nuclear plant and get it online and operating, you could have taken that $8 or $10 billion that it costs to build a nuclear plant and actually started to immediately abate carbon emissions by investing in energy efficiency, renewable energy, and cogeneration.
Now, the real debate over nuclear power going forward will be political. Critics suggest it could end up with taxpayers essentially subsidizing the industry if the plants do not become competitive with other sources of energy. John?
Kitty Pilgrim tonight. Thanks, Kitty.